Hi there, this is Alex from RealEyes Displays. I'd like to show you how I created a simple collapsible menu with Intuiface in a very simple way here. What you look at is the main menu button down here. That will make the text disappear and show you different options that you could go to drill down further into your display. Now this is a nice type of menu environment because it allows you to use the full real estate of the page and only show the menu when you specifically want it. But if I click on each of these, then they will further expand into different types of menus. What you'll notice is that no matter what order I click them in, they will expand and collapse and push the other ones forward. And then when I click here, back on the main menu, it collapses them all and puts them right back to the same starting point again. So let's look at how we did this in the Intuiface design. If we scroll over to the left where the bars are hidden over there off the screen, obviously we have three different colored bars. If I click on the yellow bar and hide it, you can see the red bar behind that one, and you can see the green bar behind the red one. And then each of these bars are groups of buttons. As you can see, each of the bars have buttons sitting inside of them. And all of those sit within one big group called bar menu. Now what happens is this toggle button here just changes the just the regular absolute position of the full bar, which moves all three at once and all three back. When it collapses them, there's one more piece that happens that I'll get to in just a little bit. But let's look inside of the yellow bar. There's a toggle button, which is what users click on here. When it's checked, it's actually going to add an amount to a counter up here, just an interface asset, that each of the positioning of each of those bars is set to move by. So whenever this counter changes, it moves the yellow. Whenever this one changes, it moves the red one. If I look into those actual triggers, all I did is whenever the count is changed for the counter, then it will move based on whatever that value is. That's what this is bound to for the red counter. So what that means is it has to be the count is changed because we're going to add and subtract by moving the bars forward and back. And that value is something we're not sure. It's going to be dependent on which of these buttons are clicked. So for example, if I look at the green info tab, I can see that it is set for X. Its position on the map here on the canvas is at 1273. But if I look at the green move counter, it is also set at 1273. So whenever everything gets collapsed again, it moves right back to where it should. Now if I look at the toggle button for, let's say, the yellow, here's the important part in how you can move them all simultaneously or in different orders. When this one is touched and is checked, it's not only going to add a value to itself to move its own bar, but it's going to push the others by adding values to their counters as well. If I open up the red counter, or the red bar, that toggle button is only going to move the green and the red because that's the only ones that are in front of it. And then the green will obviously only move itself. As a little quick workaround, I simply bound the overall collapsing button, the main menu button here, to the green bar because it's just going to move with the green bar. I took that and I bound it to the X value and I added maybe 100 some pixels to put it in front of it at all times. So what happens is whenever this yellow bar is touched, it's going to add a value, the positioning value, to everything on here. And then if you touch the red one again, it's going to add even more value to just these two. And then if you touch just the green, it's going to add even more to its own counter. And that moves it. And then when you uncheck the toggle buttons, then it subtracts by the same exact value. What that value is this distance here. Say it's 400 pixels, then every time I touch this, it's going to move all of these, each of those counters, by 500. It'll add 500 something to the counter. Now, to collapse everything once again, it's super easy. Don't reset the counters or anything. You're going to have different issues with movement if you do that. All you need to do is whenever this main menu is unchecked, it's going to simply uncheck every toggle button within the bars. And what that does is that subtracts all the values from each of the counters at the top, essentially putting them right back to where they need to be. And remember to reset this, or remember to, whenever you exit a scene, uncheck this just to make sure that everything is set to where it needs to be. So when you come back, it's good to go. And that is how you make a simple collapsible menu with Intuiface.